Hello, my friends. I just thought I'd do a quick recording about the personality and individual differences assignment. I thought it might be useful to kind of see how to do it, maybe guide you through some of the pieces, because there's some parts that get easily confused on this, so I think it would help to walk through it. So the first thing you're going to do sorry about that, in order to do this is you're going to have to find the personality test. So when I say do a keyword search, so what I'm asking you to do, you can just copy this if you want from 123 personality test, is you can go to Google, you can put in there 123 personality test. I know it's kind of hard to see because it went up to the top. And it'll give you options of personality tests. You can start with this one, 123test.com, or you can scroll down and see what other tests there are and choose the one you want. Whatever test you choose, that is fine, but it's just important to make sure that you get the link from the test. And so you're going to give me the link. That's what you're going to put onto the assignment. So like if this was the link that I did, that's where I would put that. So I'm going to delete that there. But that just tells you what you need to do. And that way I know, like, for example, if I'm looking at your test and I'm thinking, gosh, I don't know that test, I could check it out and see maybe I learned a new resource, or maybe you picked a test and did exactly what you're supposed to, but maybe that test that came up, it may not be asking exactly what we were after, but you did your job. So that's why you give me the website, is so I can just click the link if I need to and just verify and just know kind of what was there. And then when I say summarize your results in a few sentences, what I'm looking for is just tell me, like, does it say you're open? Does it say you're agreeable? Does it say you're, a perfectionist? Like, what does it tell you about yourself? Just give me a few sentences or traits. Sometimes you'll take these tests and they'll be like, here's your free results, but if you want to pay more, don't pay more. Okay, just use the free results. That's all you need. You should not have to pay any money to take these tests. If they're telling you you need to pay money for your results, go to a different site. Okay, most of these should give you at least some basic results. So the next thing you're going to do is to look for, and you get to choose between Psychology Today locus of control test or Psychology Today anxiety test. Your locus of control is how you see whether or not you feel like you have control in your life. So if you have an external locus of control, it generally means you feel kind of out of control of your life and you feel like other forces control it. If you have a more internal locus of control, it means like you feel like you're really in control of your life. So this also is a way to measure anxiety. People who feel like life happens to them and they have no control tend to have more anxiety than people who feel like they're in control of their life. So again, same thing. Whichever one you want to do, you can copy and paste it. If I got the whole thing, sorry. Go to Google or go to, Firefox or whatever browser you're using. Copy and paste it in there or type it in there and get your website and your results. Okay. And the last one, Big 5 personality test. Now, you may see the same test that comes up here on number 1, here for number 3. You can't just do the same test twice and go, oh, whoa, it's the same test. You have to do 3 different tests. I know. Sorry. I will tell you 1, 2, and 3 tend to be the most time-consuming portions of the test, but they are also generally the most interesting because you learn a lot. All right, so now we get into the meat of the project, which is questions 4, 5, and 6, step 2. The first one, how well did the test describe you? This is where you get to go to self-validation city. You can tell me you hated this test and it has no idea who you are. You can tell me you love this test and it totally gets you. You can be somewhere in between. This is where you get to tell me your opinion about the test. But let's look at number 5. Number 5 is not about what you think of the results. Number 5 is asking if the test is valid. What that means is, did the test measure what it said it would measure? So for this part here, what did test 1 say it would measure? Well, it's a personality test, so it said it would measure personality. So the question is, did it measure personality? Not, did you like the results or did you agree with the results? If it measured personality and it gave you measurements of personality, you might have hated the results, but that doesn't make it invalid. Remember, if it gives you measurements of personality, it's valid. Okay, so when you're answering this, if you're telling me how valid the tests are, you need to answer it based on, did it measure what it said it would? Now remember, these are computer algorithms. They don't have the ability to get really detailed like a human can. They can't kind of look and pick and choose and sift through the information. A computer has to go more with, okay, if you choose A, it's this. If you choose B, it's that. So it might be that it's not a good measurement of you as a person, but that doesn't mean it's invalid. So you have to be careful to separate the two. You can have a perfectly valid test that measured personality like it said it would and hate the results. That happens. That's okay. Next question, number 6, that's testing reliability. So what we're looking for is consistency. If you were to take this test again, do you feel like it would be consistent and give you the same answers? One thing you can look at is 2 of your tests are probably going to have very similar answers. You may feel like you took the same test twice almost, which means that if you're giving the same or similar answers to each test, you should probably get similar results. If you're coming back and saying, okay, test 1 gave me very similar results, test 3 gave me similar results, that's telling you it probably would be reliable because they're both in the same range giving you the same or similar results. So the question there is, do you feel like these tests are consistent? Like if you took them again, would you get the same results? Now, I always get the question, do I have to take the test more than once? Not unless you want to. Some people like to, for the scientific curiosity. Some people want to take the test twice just to see, did they get the same results? And so if you do, that's fine. But if you don't want to, then evaluate them based on what you got for answers for the other tests. Because if they're all following in the similar range, that tells you these tests are probably similar because they are going to be kind of based on the same sorts of things. All right, step 3. Now I go back to you giving me your opinion about these results. Again, you may love them, you may hate them. That's up to you. Doesn't matter. But what you're looking for is, what have you learned? And remember, you're writing a paragraph. You're not making a list. You're writing a paragraph. And that paragraph should answer these questions. For example, what have you learned about yourself from all of the tests taken? Guys, you might not learn anything. It happens. It's okay. Or you might learn something cool. Again, it happens. It depends on how well you know yourself. Some of you have taken multiple tests. Some of you have taken tests for other situations. So maybe this is all pretty much old for you. Which ones were beneficial and why? Well, if you feel like, even if they didn't teach you anything, but they said exactly what you've always thought about yourself, that can be beneficial to have self-validation, right? On the other hand, maybe they're not useful at all, because that's the next one. Which ones were not beneficial? You might say all 3 of them were not beneficial and it was a waste of time. You might say the first one was beneficial and the third one was useless. It's up to you. But again, this is where you get to go back to self-validation. This is where you get to go back and say, this is what I think of the results that I got. So be really careful. Question 4, step 3, they are both about you telling me your opinions of these results. But questions 5 and 6, these are about the test itself, and now we're looking at the scientific principles of valid and reliable. Okay? And if you're curious to know how I will grade you, you can look here, each website, the summary, and the website being included, that's up to 2 points. And then getting into question 4, 5, and 6, those are up to 3 points each. And then that last part, step 3, that's 5 points. So when you do the math here, I have to do math real fast. I'm sorry, I have to do the math correctly real fast. That should be 20 points. I'm like, that's not right. See, the end of the day. Don't let me do math at the end of the day. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck. And don't forget, we will have time to work on this in class, so you can come work on it then.